Good morning. How are you all? So, I had a great question come in this week, and I thought, what a great topic to talk about. And so, very, very applicable right now. I've had quite a few people ask this question actually, as we have been working through Kickstart Your Art. And the question was, what is an artist's voice? And what is the difference between being inspired by and copying? And I thought this was a great question because I've been talking about this a lot, and you do hear me talk about this a lot because one of my mantras is find your voice, find your people. I say that over and over and over again when we want to bring back to the simplistic form of what we're doing. We are finding our voice, finding our people. And I know lots of people are grappling with what is the voice, and it's a real tricky one to explain because it's a little bit like trying to explain what love is. We all have a very different view of what love is because of our own experiences, and the voice is the same or similar. It's hard to describe, but here's my view on what it is. So, first of all, I'll tackle the question about what the difference is between being inspired by and copying. And to me, when you copy somebody, which we all do, whether we consciously do this or not, we can subconsciously copy people, but it's in us all. Like, nothing is new, and we imitate other people, we copy, we see things, and we will replicate them. And especially as beginners, when we're first starting out, we will look at other people's work and look at how they did it and take someone's painting and just copy it exactly as we see it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it can be really insightful into understanding how someone did something. And sometimes it's a great place to start if you're feeling blocked, just to take away all the pressure of thinking up something unique. Just look at someone else's and replicate it. So that to me is copying, imitating. And of course, when you've copied someone and imitated something exactly, that belongs to someone else. So we can use that in our personal work, but we all know that we shouldn't put that out there as our own because it wasn't our own. We copied it from somebody. And what the difference is to me about being inspired by is that when you start to gather, and this is what we've been doing during the Kickstart Your Art Challenge, is gathering different sources of inspiration. So you might have an artist's artwork here, you might have an artist's artwork over here, and you might then go on a walk to the shops and see different colors that have come together in a bush and flowers, and you take a picture and you bring that back to your sketchbook. And then what happens is you start to gather different sources of inspiration that all start to meld and fuse and come together. So when you go back to making an artwork, what you might do is, instead of imitating someone and copying it exactly, you might go, okay, so I've got this artwork here, but I quite like the way this artist has overlapped in this one, and I really liked the color of those bushes on the walk to the shop this morning. So instead of doing it in the colors that they did it, I'm going to do it in green and red, and I'm going to use the layers that this artist used. And you start to mix things up, and that is you starting to find your own voice. That's when you're starting to notice, like, I like this and I like this, and what happens if I bring these together? So you're no longer imitating and copying exactly what you see. You're starting to use your own influences, your own ideas, your own passions into your art. And this is you developing your own voice. It's a mixture of influences. So the more you become tuned into these, the more your voice will develop. And we are all unique. Your story, your feelings, your experiences, your thoughts, your inspiration are going to be completely different to everyone in our world on the planet. So we are all unique. We will have experienced some things that are the same: loss, you know, breaking up, losing things, happiness, joy, celebration. So there's certain things that we all experience, but the cause or the effects of those will be completely different for all of us. So when I think of artist voice, to me, there are two parts of an artist's voice. And to me, there is the DNA in us all. And I believe we've got an artistic DNA. And that is the way you hold your pencil, the way you see. You will see the color red completely differently to the way I see the color red. We see things differently. We've seen it before with those crazy images going around on social media where some people see red and blue and some people see silver and gold, and you're like, how can you see that differently? So we all see things differently. So we've got this artistic DNA, which I believe is innate. It's kind of just the way we're programmed. It's the way our brain is programmed. And I noticed this when I was at art school. I would try and make art in a different way to what felt natural to me, because I was trying so hard to be this artist that I wasn't. And I was measuring and doing all these things that were really hard, which was great because I was exploring different ways of making art. But it felt hard and it felt against my grain. And as soon as I started to just let go of that and think that it's just not who I am. I'm an expressive person. I like to just make mess and I'm not precise. And I see this in all aspects of my life, I have to admit. I am not a precise person. I have no patience to sit and measure things accurately and precision. It's just not me. And it was really enlightening to accept that. And so that's, I believe, part of my DNA. It's the way I'm programmed. And I guess that goes back to our natural aptitude towards things as well. We will, all of us have a natural aptitude towards some things. And again, I think it's the way the brain is programmed usually. Everything comes from the brain, doesn't it? And in terms of DNA. So this is why there's two parts to the voice. So for me, I feel like there's part that is, it's just in us. It's our grain. It's the way we are programmed. But of course, you can challenge that by learning new things, retraining your brain to possibly see things in a different way or go against. But I think you can only do that to a certain point. This is just my belief. Everyone else, again, it's so different, and everyone will have a different opinion on this, I'm sure. And this brings me to the second side of the voice. The second part of the voice is the influences that we have, what is around us, the walk that I go on today, the things that I notice, the things that you notice, the experience you've had growing up as a child, the way you get excited about something or you're repulsed by something. So we were doing a challenge on day 8, I think it was, this or that. And it's interesting how we're all programmed to either not like a certain color, or some people love all colors, and it's really interesting. So that part of our voice, again though, is unique, but it's influenced by other things and it changes, because this week I am living this life here today and I'm influenced by things around me, but next week something might happen in my life that completely changes how I feel about life, how I feel about art, how I feel about everything. And that part of our voice is developing all the time. But what happens is we start to use these influences in our artwork, and this is what starts to make us unique as artists. This is what starts to make our work have a completely different feel to anybody else's. When you start to bring your own influences, your own story, and everyone has their own story. There's so many people that say, I don't have a story, there's no depth, there's no meaning, but everybody does. And what then happens, and this is where Sharon's course, Make Your Mark, is really helpful. because as you probably all know, as we gather, we start to gather lots and lots of ideas and lots of things, and we love this and we love this on this walk, and I like this artist and I like this medium. And part of finding your voice is having consistency. And this is what frightens people because they think it's sticking to the same thing over and over and over again, but it absolutely isn't. It's about having some consistency so that your voice starts to become recognized. And Sharon was a great example of this. So she, a few years ago, I remember really clearly, about 5 years ago, she was making all different types of artwork and painting, and it felt like it was all coming from the same place. So she felt it was inspired by the same things. But when she was going to galleries, she was being rejected and she was not getting the sales. And when she started to look into why, it was because she hadn't found her voice. It was still all over the place. And she met a great gallery owner who started to explain this to Sharon and said, you need to have some more consistency in your work and refine what you're doing. And that's where Sharon, has used Make Your Mark, the course Make Your Mark that she teaches, to start to have more selective ideas, more consistency. So there becomes a point in this to develop your voice where you're taking all this influence, but you start to become selective. And the best way I can describe this is like a musician. So if you take a musician, if they played all their instruments at the same time, it would get really, really noisy. And equally, when you have a musician create an album, there's usually some consistency in the album of the kind of music that's on there. It's like their flavor. And this again is like finding a voice. A musician, they will literally find their voice, but also in terms of a musical sense as well. So and it's like cooking. If you put all your ingredients into the pot at the same time, it gets really messy and overwhelming. So there is something in taking parts out to consistently focus on that develops your voice. And when you then make art, people recognize that as, oh my gosh, that's so and so's art. That's Sharon's art, I can tell. And it's learning how to use your voice effectively. So when you start to understand your influences and all the things that make you individual as a person, it's then learning how to use art to communicate what it is that you want to say through your artwork, how to use these different influences so that you don't get a big muddy mess. So that's what Make Your Mark helps you with, helps you to select the right things to really fine tune your voice. Because like with musicians, there becomes a point in making art where we do have to be selective. There are, if we do play all the music at the same time, it is loud. And it's the same with art. Like if you put everything on the canvas in one go, it's going to get really, really, really noisy. And that might be okay. That might be what you're trying to achieve. Maybe you do want to make noise with your art. So it's really interesting. So for me, the artistic voice, it's really difficult to explain, but it is about you tapping into that uniqueness most of all. It's about everybody is unique, and it's about being really aware of what influences you, what excites you, and then starting to learn how to use those elements in art to create artwork that has that consistency. So hopefully that makes sense. And I'm just going to check to make sure I've covered everything. Oh yeah, that was yeah. So going back to Sharon before I move on, going back to Sharon. So what Sharon did is she took a few parts of her artwork and just made them consistent. For her, it was the material before she was painting and doing lots of different things. And she just started to focus a few elements, and that's when her art started to take off. And within a year, she got represented by 3 different galleries. She went from earning, I think it was a few £1,000 a year if she was lucky, to £70,000. And that came from this process of fine-tuning her voice. So it's definitely something that takes time. And I was saying this yesterday, that you don't just magically find your voice, it evolves as well. So it's an ever-evolving process, but it's really exciting when you start to really understand who you are as a person, as an artist as well, and how you can use that in your artwork. So yes, so those who are taking Make Your Mark, you're going to learn what your flavor is, and how you can start to strengthen your artwork and really make it unique. That's why it's called Make Your Mark, because it's about how you can start to take your own influences now and really do this in a way that is unique to you. So yay! Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to check the comments now, and look at you all. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Renelle. Lisbeth, hello. Happy March. Yes, Dawn, thank you. Happy March. David's here. Hello, David. I'm inspired by Antonio Lopez, but I'm nowhere near talented enough to copy him. And this is a great topic to talk about as well, is that gap of when we see somebody and we try and imitate them, we notice that there's this gap. We just like, oh, have you ever had this? I want to make something, it's in my head, or I've seen someone, and then when you try and imitate, you're like, oh. And this is the great thing with, if you're taking Make Your Mark, this is the great thing that you'll start to learn, is how to fill that gap. So if you want to make art in a certain way, Make Your Mark will start to teach you how to develop the skill to fill that gap. So this was the great example with Chris. So Chris had an artwork of the cat, which was beautiful. And lots of people have said how that cat, it was very flat and it wasn't rendered, but it showed character. It was perfectly fine as it was. And it showed personality. But she wanted to learn to render and to show depth and to go in a more realistic direction. And it might be the opposite for you. Maybe you don't want to render things. Maybe you do want to put, as you go through Make Your Mark, you'll think, I want to bring more emotion, or I want to loosen, I feel so tight. And so this is what it will help you with, is pull out certain parts that you really want to develop. Where's the gap in what you want to do? And then you start to practice, because that is the way of developing your voice, is to keep practicing. But if you keep practicing at lots and lots and lots of different things, it goes back to the musician. If you keep playing trumpet and drums and piano, you don't ever get that depth of learning if you focus on one or two and then you become like, wow, a master or amazing. Or so it's the same with art. Choosing a few parts to really focus on and bring together will heighten your work. So it's about filling that gap. But also, this is a great one to think about, Rachel, in terms of if you do see an artwork that you like. And again, I'm really excited to take Make Your Mark myself. It starts to get you to think about, what is it about the artist's artwork that isn't coming across in my own? And this is why it's great when we start looking at other people and how they're doing things, because you can start to think, okay, so they've got more layers and more depth, or it just seems to be having, it's more contrast. You can start to break things down to go, right, okay, I need to put more contrast in my work. or I need to rearrange things in a certain way. So it's really useful when you start to understand. Hey Marita, good evening. Nighttime when Marita's just about to go to bed. Hello, Colin. Sue is in Spain and it's cloudy. Ooh. Dawn's tuning in from Cape Town. Nice to see you. Oh, Carly's back. Couldn't get on the videos for a while. I know how they ban Australia. Even Marita, who works on the team, couldn't get access either. She was an admin. Lovely to see you all here. Aviva, hello, tuning in from Manchester. Have a great week. Yes, you too. Yes, I love this. It's Monday. The week is full of possibilities. Yes, I love starting my week with you all. It's great. Jodie says, it seems it can take a while for creative hearts to find our voices. Sometimes it involves a lot of practice, experimenting and playing. And I think as well, being really truthful with what it is that you want to make, because we get in our own heads, we start to think, oh, this art isn't going to please other people. Because we start to get an idea or preconceived idea of what other people want, and influenced by other people and what they're doing. And a lot of this is about being truthful to what you really want to make and being brave. And it's really hard. And I think one of the most courageous things is being honest with ourselves. So, hey, Nick says, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to working with clay. I realized very quickly that it would be my downfall when painting. Changed my mindset just for that medium. The feeling of freedom was great. Yes, I love it. Hey, Stacey. Hi, Jim. Nice to see you here. Good morning. When an artist is using a reference photo, can you get around copyright by mixing things up and changing certain elements within your sketch or your painting? Yes, you can. So the copyright is if you are replicating something exactly, and it's a grey area. So, you know, you'd have to check with somebody else legally. But if the rule of thumb is, if that picture can be identified as coming from the other artist, so if there's any part that you go, oh my gosh, that looks just like Picasso, and it is because you've lifted one of, that's a bad example because they're really old paintings that you can use after a certain period of time as well. But if you've taken someone's work and it is recognizable, then you can't use it. But this is where collage and things, because if you're cutting things and rearranging them and taking them out of context, then it's not the image anymore. So, but it is a grey area. But that's why collage is allowed, because it's completely cutting things up, hashing, and you'll just see a little tiny bit. So it's not the whole image anymore. But yes, if you are replicating something like for like, then that's where it's really not allowed. Okay, this is a great one. So Jen's saying, I've always thought being eclectic with art appealed to more people. Maybe consistency, as you say, is the key. That's a good lesson. Yeah, so this is what a lot of people think. And this is where Sharon, I don't want to say she was going wrong, but this is where Sharon was finding it challenging, because what she was doing was exhibiting, and she was putting boats out, she was putting little birds, she was putting paintings of trees, figures, because of the same reason. She was thinking, if I put a variation, then there'll be more appeal to people. You know, somebody might like a tree painting, or somebody might like a sculpture of a person. And so she was trying to do that, but what she was doing was diluting. And the galleries were coming over just saying, I don't know who you are as an artist, because if I take you on, you've got all these different things. And you might not want gallery representation, but still having that thread and having that consistency in your voice will help your buyers as well, and your customers. Because if you think about an album, I liken it to music because it's often easier to understand. But if you buy an album from a musician, and because you heard one of their songs and it was a rock song, and then you buy it and it's full of Disney classics, you're going to be like, hey. So it's having consistency so that you become known for something as well. And my mentor, Stu McLaren, said that to me when I was starting United Art Space, because I wanted to do all these things and I want to help artists do this and I want to help them do that. And he said, you, but you're doing so many things, nobody remembers what you're doing. He said, you've got to become known for something. And that was, I'll never forget him saying that, because it changed my whole direction with United Art Space. And it's the same with art as well. And I think that at the beginning, especially, it's important to know what you want to become known for. That's if you want to start selling and getting it out there. If you're a beginner, enjoy that play mode where you don't have to think of that just yet. But when you want to start selling and getting it out there, it's thinking, what do I want to become known for? And then once you are known, there becomes a point where you get that artistic license again, where you can just do whatever you like, and you can start expanding and doing different projects and going, I feel like just doing this today. But it's very hard to do that at the beginning when you haven't built up an audience yet. So yeah. Yay, Stacey. I've done Make Your Mark before and loved it. Helped so much. Looking forward to doing it again. You're so famous, Stacey, because I had someone today go, I've just found your page and I found you off TikTok. And as soon as I said TikTok, I was like, was it Stacey? Amazing. Thank you, Stacey. You're just so wonderful. And if you want to go and have some fun on TikTok, if you're on TikTok, go and follow Stacey James, Portrait Artist UK, because she's hilarious. The comments have jumped again. Hold on, let me just go back. Oh gosh, there we go. Because there, Susie put a lovely comment there. A collection of layers unique to you. Yes, building up those layers. And it does take time. Yeah. Yeah, stick with being eclectic. Oh, hello, Vicky. Nice to see you here. This concept has helped me tremendously. Yeah, and the process, Trisha, this process as well, when we do Make Your Mark, it reduces that overwhelm, because as artists, we have loads of ideas, and when you do start to rein it in and have some consistency, it enables you to park other ideas for now, so that you reduce the overwhelm and you get really clear on what it is that I'm doing. And Sharon has on her board, she has, you are making figures. It's like so simple. I can't remember what it says exactly. You are making figures. You are inspired by human interaction or something like that. And it's on the wall to keep her focused on the collection that she's making right now. Otherwise, her work will end up just like all over the place. And yeah. And again, it's not saying no to those things. It's just bringing them in when it's time. Like cooking, don't throw everything in the pot at the same time. Yeah, Vicky saying that, I've been surprised at how well the focus has helped. Good for you. Yay, Kathy signed up to Make Your Mark. I'm so excited. That's so cool. Yeah, Colin, definitely. If you look at any artist in any gallery, their work has a definite, consistent voice, which is recognizable. It's a conscious choice by the artist. It allows you to go deeper and not skate across the surface. Oh, I like that. Not skate across the surface. Yes. Yes. Hello, Donna. Nice to see you here. Hey, Colin. I'm still exploring my marks and materials, but finally have the understanding of concept and direction to find my true voice. Amazing. And I'll tell you a quick story, Marley, about that, because when I started working with Sharon, I think there was 3 things that have helped her get to where she is. One is the Make Your Mark course and refining her work and finding her voice massively. 2 was her mindset. She was totally getting in her own way, totally saying that she didn't want to make money from her artwork, totally sabotaging any success. And there was a 3rd one that helped, and I can't remember. Relationships, building up relationships. Those are the 3 things. And I remember when I started working with Sharon, she said she didn't want to earn money. And I was just like, but that's crazy. Because money is energy. You need money to survive and to make more art. And so she was her magic scary number. I said to her, if there was a scary number for you to earn from your art, what would it be? And back then it was 30,000. She was like, if I earned 30,000, I don't know what I'd do with all that money. And it would make me really uncomfortable. And so we worked together on that. It was really interesting because now, yeah, she's up there with in the 70,000 and probably going to hit 100,000 this year because her artwork is just booming. So, and that's just in a few years, but come from this process of really refining her voice. So yeah. Hey, Susie's signing up for Make Your Mark today. Checked my bank account, going for it. Amazing. You'll love it. It will teach you skills for life, literally skills for life. I use Make Your Mark, what I've learned time and time again. And people take it again and again because they like to be part of the group. And Sharon, of course, because it's her process. And this time round, you get a bonus as well of Sharon's diary. So she's going to be doing video snippets of how she's using Make Your Mark with all the exhibitions that she's got this year. And I know she's going to do a live video from one of her exhibitions as well. So you'll get to see behind the scenes of how Sharon works, which is really good. Yay, Niche, hello. So yeah, this is why I'm sticking to pencils, graphite color, even though I can paint pencils. And you know what? Sometimes it's not forever either. It's literally finding some consistency. And it might be subject, it might be your materials, it might be the size, it might be texture, it could be a technique. And it's just using a few consistencies for a short period. I know a friend who really wanted to get good at portraits. So he did a self-portrait every day for a year. And he was amazing at portraits after that year. And I've known people do this before. There was a cartoonist who wanted to develop a particular character, and he drew this character every day for 90 days. And in the end, he nailed it. And so you can use this to look at it as a short-term thing as well. I think some people think, oh, I don't want to get stuck and pigeonholed, but you can evolve this. It's not about being stuck in the same thing. In fact, it's about the opposite. It's about growing with your voice and evolving and changing. So Niche, yeah, it's great that you're doing that. So oh, Peggy's joined Make Your Mark as well. Yeah, I recognise that I'm like a one-man band with diverse instruments on every limb. I'm making weird noises. My tunes are a bit derivative. I'm looking forward to literally fine-tuning. Oh, amazing. Amazing. Oh, yeah, Stacey's found her voice. I mean, what a story to tell from Stacey. And yeah, and Stacey's doing Make Your Mark as well. And I can't wait to see where this takes you, Stacey. Really coming at it now with a different perspective of when you took it all those years ago. Oh, you're welcome, Marley. Thank you. Marie, sorry. Marley said a comment earlier. Hello, I have a question. I want to take part in Make Your Mark, but now I'm really busy. So my question is how the course is made, how it's structured, one lesson a week or more, and if I'll make it on later on, let's say in a few months, will Sharon still be able to give me feedback about my work or answer any questions? It's just I don't know how to make this course, but I'd like to participate. I'm going to send a big email out later and I'll do a live video. Maybe I'll do a live video later today as well, answering questions just about Make Your Mark. But quickly, in a nutshell, it's a 7-part course that takes you through research, through play, then through formal elements, and it gives you every week different tasks to really start you to pull from the Kickstart a more directed approach now. So Kickstart has got you to start seeing everything around you, and then what you'll start to do is pull parts now. So it's about that consistency and really pushing this in a deeper way to start to see how you can strengthen your artwork. So every week there's a new lesson with different activities and different tasks. And each week you can choose one task out of the lesson. So you can literally just do 10 minutes each week. So pull one task out and you would keep up with it. But I personally think if you can dedicate a little bit more time, you'll get more from it. Sharon is live every Monday, but you don't have to watch live to talk about each week in more detail. But there's videos in the lessons anyway, so you don't actually need those. But we like to put a live element in there. So, and some weeks Sharon will be giving you behind the scenes when she's at an exhibition and in her studio and what she's working on. So it's available for 12 months. Sharon is only available for 7 weeks and she's not available after that time because she is fully stacked with exhibitions for the rest of the year and she needs to start making. She's already got a massive list of work that she needs to make for her exhibitions. So she is part of the course during the 7 weeks and then not. So hopefully that answers your question. And if you have any more questions, let us know. I'll do another separate live about Make Your Mark. So Jackie, you and Sharon talked about the importance of passion as a driver in an artist's work. Is there also a link between passion and developing your own artistic voice? Will passion help to translate into voice? Yes. Passion is everything. Passion is more important and desire is more important than talent. If you've got a passion for something and a desire to explore it and you're curious and you know, that's what feeds your work. It's also when you see an artist who's creating artwork, 2 artworks, one they were passionate about and one they weren't, you can tell. I can see artwork in my hub group, and I can see which artwork, without even asking, the one that they enjoyed the most. It has confidence. It's so crazy how you can see, and some are just so rigid, and you can tell they were like overthinking every single mark. And it feels like, oh, it has tension. And then another piece where they felt, you can just see it. You can see the passion without them even describing it. And so, yeah, I think it does absolutely influence it. And that comes from, and passion is different for everybody. You know, I get physically excited, I get butterflies. And for others, you know, passion and excitement for something feels different, you know. It's a different feeling. So, but having that is the driver to keep pushing your work forwards as well. And passion comes and goes, it ebbs and flows. So you'll get bored and you'll refresh things. So David says, tell that to my sister who plays almost everything well. But yes, over what period of time though? Did she just start playing all those instruments at age 7 and just start playing them really well? Because this is the other thing to bear in mind as well, is that you can look at people and think, oh yeah, they're doing this type of art, that type of art. But it wasn't always the case. That's their chapter 25. You know, if you're just starting out, then you can start to think, oh, I could do all those things because they are, but they didn't just start doing all those things overnight. Some people are unicorns, or maybe they did, but on the whole, there's usually a lot of hours of practice and lots of work that's gone into really playing proficiently at different instruments or different types of artwork. Like Picasso, when you look at Picasso, that was years and years and years of artwork and collections and exploring his voice and creating movements. And, you know, he didn't just jump into all of those things. So it's an interesting one, David. I like that. Gets you to think. So if you're feeling a lack of passion whilst doing art, I think that it goes back to when people lose their way, it's because they've lost their why. And so if I lose my passion in something, I go back to the beginning. Why am I doing this? I go back to gathering, like, what is it that I'm interested in? And try something new. Sometimes we are too stuck in overthinking something. And if you just try something completely different, it can spark the brain. Stacey recommended a program on Netflix about this, about how we can spark creativity and how the brain works. It was really interesting. And I think it was called The Creative Brain. And it says, you know, sometimes when we're repeating things, we get bored. We're human. We like differences. We like variety. And so as soon as you do something completely new, it sparks the brain and goes, oh, this is great. And then you can go back to the other work because you're right fired up again. And I guess it's different for everybody. So for me, I spark passion by going back to my why. That's always the thing for me. I go back to, you know, why am I doing this? Why does this matter to me? And that sparks. Music sparks me. So I've got like a safety net of things. When I'm not feeling it, I go back to that and I play a certain song. I go to a place that inspires me. I go back to my why, and I do all those things to try and find that passion again. But know that it's normal. It is normal. It depends what's going on in our lives as well. Like sometimes we can just get knocked off our feet. I went through a separation last year and it just killed my joy for everything. I just couldn't focus. I couldn't stop crying. And sometimes when you're in those periods, it's just about stepping back and allowing the space. And then I came out of it again and started to find my passion again. But yeah, we're complex, aren't we? Happy spring. Yay. Oh, thank you. That's made my day. Thank you very much. You're so welcome. I love doing these. I love it. Um, yeah, look at that. Stacey. Brilliant. Yeah, photographs have copyright. Yeah. So if you use somebody else's photograph, they have the rights. There's obviously some people that don't have the rights, so you do have to check the source of the photograph that you're using. But there are lots of sites that offer royalty-free, copyright-free images. Pixabay, I think, Pixabay, and there's lots of other ones as well. But if it's a photographer that's put an artwork and you replicate it exactly, that is an infringement on copyright. Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to put that artwork out without their permission. Um, in terms of older artworks, now I don't know the exact time period, but after a certain period of time, images lose the rights by default, so they become in their public domain images, so you can use them. But again, you have to check the image source. If you've seen an image or an artwork, just check whether it's has rights or whether it's in the public domain. And then there's a there's a grey area here, because if you've got an image that's very, very popular and there's lots of it, then no one it's hard to say who has the rights of that, because you could have seen it somewhere or it's in the public domain. For example, it's a picture of a building. You could have gone there and seen it. So yeah, copyright is a complex, that's a whole other video. In fact, I've got a video on copyright. So what I'll do is I'll dig that out and come back and share that link with you, because I've talked about this in a different video. Okay, so I love this. I'm gonna end on this one. Kickstarter's helped me realize I can do more. It's also made me realize I hate getting dirty. I love it. Right, okay, I'm gonna head. So thank you so much for joining me. I will do a separate session later to answer all questions about Make Your Mark. And Sharon and I will do on Wednesday a boot camp. So anybody who wants to just go through Kickstart again, or if you're feeling behind on Kickstart, you didn't manage to do every day, we are going to go through with our sketchbooks each day as fast as we can and get through it. And then on Thursday, it all comes to an end and we are going to throw an art party. So we're going to get all our stuff out, and we've not done an art party in a while, so we're going to do that. I will email you all this information. And of course, Hub members, if you're a Hub member, I will be talking about the how key this week on Thursday. So there's a lot going on this week, and it'll quieten down after next week. Okay, take care. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.